Hello, I'm Lori Bernard, a financial analyst here for Region 1 in the Comptroller's Division of Local Government Finance. In this short presentation, we will talk about one of the schedules that the Division of Local Government Finance requires that you file with your budget package, the Budget Summary Schedule. As always, please feel free to reach out to your regional analyst in LGF. They're always happy to help you. As you are aware, state law requires that all monies must be appropriated before they are spent on any program or service the government provides, regardless of the source of the money. Budgets are typically built from the ground up, meaning that the detailed line item budget is developed. Then the amounts to be appropriated based on the spending plan in the line item budget will be entered into the appropriations ordinance. Sometimes, and for a variety of reasons, the amounts that are appropriated are not sufficient to legally authorize the government's planned spending. If you prepare this schedule before the budget ordinance is adopted, it will help you make sure that the planned spending is sufficiently appropriated. Now let's quickly review the schedule. This schedule contains certain elements that you'll enter into the correct cells. All the numbers you need should be readily available in your budget documents you've already prepared. You will need to know the total revenues for each fund, the total expenses for each fund, the estimated beginning cash and fund balances for each fund, and if you have enterprise funds, the estimated beginning net position for each of those funds. The ending balances will automatically calculate for you. Here's what the schedule looks like. You can download the Excel file from our website and use it as a template. Let's talk a bit about each element. Enter the total revenues from the ordinance and the line item budget for each fund, but do remember to split out the proceeds from any new debt that will be issued during the budget year and any planned transfers in from other funds. For expenses, enter the totals from the ordinance and the detailed budget in the correct cells. Remember to split out any planned transfers out to other funds from the total expenses. Please note that all the transfers in should equal the transfers out. Be careful with transfer totals. Depending on how you present them in your budget, you may inadvertently leave them out of the appropriations ordinance, which would require the budget to be amended if you don't catch that before the budget is adopted. You only need to enter your data in the empty white cells. The ones that are gray contain formulas to calculate ending balances and other totals for you. Make sure to include the beginning cash balances for all fund types, as well as beginning fund balances for all the governmental funds. For enterprise funds, you'll need the beginning net position. These beginning balances will, of course, be estimates as of July 1st, the beginning of the fiscal year for which you're budgeting. Remember, the ending balances will calculate for you. So just to review, for revenues, enter the total revenues for each fund, split out the new debt proceeds, split out the transfers in from other funds. For expenses, enter total expenses for each fund, split the transfers out to other funds from the total, and remember the sum of all transfers in should equal the sum of all transfers out. Only enter data in the white cells, the gray ones are set to calculate for you. Make sure to include the beginning cash balances for all fund types, as well as beginning fund balances for all the governmental funds. For enterprise funds, as I mentioned, you'll need the beginning net position. These beginning balances will, of course, be estimates of July 1, the beginning of the fiscal year for which you're budgeting, and as I mentioned before, the ending balances will calculate. Some things to remember: by the time you've prepared your detailed budget and budget ordinance, you should have all the numbers you need for this schedule. Preparing this schedule for your package is really just a matter of opening the file and plugging the numbers into the spreadsheet where they belong. Use the schedule to double check that all the totals in your detailed budget made it to the Appropriations Act and that all your government's planned spending is legally authorized. You don't need to close your books on the current year before you close this schedule. We do understand that the beginning balances for cash, fund balance, and net position will be estimates based on the expected receipts and spending for the remainder of the current year, along with any encumbrances for pending purchase orders or contracts. As I mentioned earlier in this presentation, we've provided an Excel file for you to download that is available on our website. If you have any trouble finding the file or downloading it, do call your dedicated analysts. They will be happy to help you. Remember, when you file your budget package with LGF, you can email it to lgf@cot.tn.gov. No hard copies are required. We're here to help, so reach out anytime if you need us. Thank you.